Okay, Chapter 4, The Year of Billy Miller. Sal and the Drop Sisters were sitting in a row on the front porch steps. "I'm waiting for you," Sal called to Billy as she turned into the yard. "Well, here I am," said Billy. "You can stop waiting." Papa came around the house from the garage carrying a battered cello with only 2 strings. "Hi, Billy," she said. "Hi, Papa." "How was school?" asked Papa. "Okay," said Billy. "What did you do?" "Nothing." "Give me one highlight from your day," said Papa. Billy was used to Papa's probing, although he didn't particularly like it. "There's a kid named Hamster in my class," he said. "Boy or girl?" asked Papa. "Girl." "Maybe her parents are celebrities," said Papa. "They often give their kids unusual names." "Huh?" said Billy. "Nothing," said Papa. "How is Miss Silver?" Billy shrugged. An image of Miss Silver's disappointed face rose up in his mind. He did not want to talk to her, although he knew his father would think that her chopsticks were very interesting. "Can we not have any more questions?" asked Billy. "No more questions," said Papa. Sal, who had been unusually silent, stood with her hands on her hips and said, "Your school doesn't sound very fun." "My school with Papa was more fun. Look what I can do." Sal bent over and grabbed a book from the stack on the porch. "I can read Mama's favorite book," she said. She held up a worn paperback copy of Pride and Prejudice. "You can't read that book," said Billy. The book was definitely for adults. "Yes, I can," said Sal. "Watch. I know the words A and I." And she opened up the book to the first chapter. Her finger scanned across the lines and down the page. A, A. She paused. "There's an I!" She flipped the page. Now her finger darted around. A, I, A. She slapped the book shut and beamed. "That was just 2 pages, but I can read in the hundreds." She opened the book again, this time to page 223. "See," she said. I, A. "That's not really reading," said Billy. "Is so," said Sal. "A is a word and I is a word." She looked at Papa. "Well, so it is reading in a way." He wiggled his eyebrows at Billy, and he was still holding the dilapidated cello. He plucked one of the 2 strings, making a dull, heavy sound. "And this was making music." He plucked again. "In a way." Billy laughed. "I found the cello today, among other treasures. Come to the garage and I'll show you." "Me too," said Sal. She gathered the Drop Sisters into her pillowcase. "And I'm going to teach the girls to read," Sal told Billy. "I'm teaching Raindrop first. She's the smartest." Billy followed Papa and Sal followed Billy into the garage. Papa's treasures for the day included a cello, an old-fashioned telephone with a dial, a long curly cord, a gnarled piece of driftwood that looked like an elephant, and a shiny silver garden ball on a cement pedestal. "We went to the dump," said Sal. Billy realized that if he'd spent the day with Papa, he would have had more fun than he did at school. "Does any of this speak to you?" Papa asked. He rotated the driftwood in his hands, eyeing it critically. "Any ideas how your old Papa can turn these lovely bits of rummage into art?" He placed the driftwood at his feet and then rubbed the silver garden ornament as if it were a crystal ball. "Let's look into the future," said Papa. Billy and Sal leaned closer. "What do you see?" Papa asked, joking, stroking his beard. Billy couldn't see the future, but if he could have, he would have liked to see Emma move to a different table at school, and then he would have liked Miss Silver to let him know somehow that she wasn't mad at him. "I see me," said Sal. She touched her nose in the silver globe and then drew her face back a bit. She repeated this movement several times, mesmerized by her distorted reflection. "I like the silver ball the best," she said. Before she kissed her reflection, "I like the telephone the best," said Billy, "but we don't have any suggestions for how Papa could turn it into art." "It would be fun to take it apart." He was fascinated by seeing the internal works of things, the wires, the gears, and nuts and bolts. "You should like the silver ball the best," Sal told Billy. "It's silver, just like Miss Silver. You should give it to her. Then you would be her favorite." Billy didn't care about being Miss Silver's favorite, but he did care that she thought that he'd been rude to her. Billy offered no response to Sal's comments, but because of them, he experienced the first flicker of an idea of how to make things right with Miss Silver. Ned came over, and he and Billy took apart the telephone with Papa's help. And Billy's idea was forming. Mama came home, and she asked him even more questions about second grade than Papa had. Billy's answers stayed nearly the same. Okay, and nothing, and I don't know. Billy's idea continued to form during dinner and throughout the evening. By the time that he went to bed, he had a plan. Chapter 4.